I was just reminded there's not only graduations and classes for folks to take financial literacy courses, they just had a community baby shower. This is such an important. Is this the baby that was born? I'm kidding. Repeat after me. Save the center.
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 I want to bring up one last speaker before we call some action items in terms of donating and making sure that we actually save this center. He's the director of events for Restoration Bed-Stuy, Marlon Rice. In protecting this landmark and to uphold Hattie Carthan's legacy in preserving the environment of Bed-Stuy. So not only as the chair of this committee do I want to speak to the importance of the environmentalism of this landmark, but the preserving of culture of this institution. We need to raise a lot of money to make sure that we keep the Hattie Carthan Magnolia Tree Earth Center on its feet. Of course, the government wants to step in and support Hattie Carthan and the Magnolia Tree Earth Center with public funds, but we can't do that until we allow them to raise enough money to keep a roof over the many different tenants that are in this institution's head. So we have a lot of speakers here today that I want to bring up. I want to bring up our first speaker, Wayne Devenish, who is the Magnolia Tree Earth Center board chair. Wayne has been doing such a great job of making noise and getting the call out that brought all of us out here today in supporting the preserving of this important institution. So I want to bring Wayne up to share a couple words before we hear from more of our elected officials, as well as the commissioner of DCLA. Wayne?
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Black History Month to you all. My name is Wayne Devenish. I'm the chairman of Magnolia Tree Earth Center of Bedford-Stuyvesant, and I am really, really happy about the turnout that I'm seeing here right now. This level of support really lets me know that we definitely have a shot at elevating and saving this center. But I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the person that allowed us to be at this level, and that is our Commissioner of Culture and Arts, Lori Cumber, the Honorable Lori Cumber. She answered the call right away. She's lending us her staff, her resources, her influence, so that the building department doesn't come and put a chain on the door. So we as a community really have to step up and don't make her efforts be in vain. We need to raise $350,000 immediately so that we can finish the construction work that started back in 2020. We have a heavy lift, but I know we can do it. We are New Yorkers. We are resilient. We don't want to see another institution disappear.
That's right.
And because of this showing right here, I know we're on the right track. So I really want to thank our councilman. He's been accessible. All of our local public officials have been accessible. Thank Senator Jabari Brisport. I believe I saw
Right behind
you. Right behind me. Our Assemblywoman, Stephanie Zinnerman, and the community, Brownstoners, just everyone is really interested in this institution lasting and having the legacy of Hattie Carthan be elevated and put in its proper place. So thank you all, and yeah, let's get it done.
Thank you, Wayne. Yeah.
Thank you. It really was, when I walked up and saw all of you here today, it is really a good feeling to see so many people recognize and understand the importance of our legacy and history here in Bedford-Stuyvesant. So I thank all of you first and foremost for coming out, because we need to make sure that we preserve this historical landmark in our community. I want to recognize that many of the civil rights and social justice activists here in Brooklyn, New York wanted to be here, but they are still in Memphis right now. And so I wanted to recognize them, and I wanted to really just start by taking a moment to recognize Brother Tyree as he was laid to rest yesterday. We want to make sure that we recognize his life in this world before we officially start. So let's just take a moment of silence. Thank you. You know, with so many of our social justice and activists gone in Memphis to do that work, and we're here in Brooklyn doing this work, it really, on this second day of Black History Month, shows the fight that is ongoing throughout this country in all facets for Black survival, whether it's our lives, whether it's our homes, whether it's healthcare, whether it's fighting for the presence of our Black-owned businesses and institutions. Our existence is an everyday fight on every single level. And it's important that we continue to unify to make sure that our presence is here permanently and made to stay. Many people talk, that's right. Many people talk about gentrification, right? Let's talk about gentrification. When we think about gentrification, we simply think that it's white people moving into Black and brown communities and those communities being displaced that were currently there. It's not as simple as that. Gentrification, in my opinion, is when new people move into the community and have no regard for that neighborhood. They have no regard for the institutions, the culture, the businesses, the schools, the houses of worship. They come with their own new plan, right? I consider people that come new to this community who recognize that institutions like Magnolia Tree Earth Center are critical to our community. That's what community building is about. So whether you got here last year or you have been here for generations, if you do not step up to help institutions like this, you are part of the problem, whether you came last year or generations ago. And that's what we have to make sure the message is. You could be Black, white, and everything in between. But your goal when you move to a new community or you are from that community is to protect and lift up that community. So that's what this is about. We need to raise funds and critical funds, immediate funds, within the next 60 days. So I'm calling on my HBCUs. We need to make sure that if we got these prestigious degrees, that we put them to work. I'm calling on all our sororities and fraternities. If you have a gala once a year and you wear a tuxedo and an evening gown, you can cough up some money to put into the Magnolia Tree Earth Center. Our PTAs, we need to have candy sales, we need to have cookie sales, whatever it is, we need that funding. We need to call on our houses of worship. If you have a house of worship, can you ask your pastor to do an additional collection at offering time for this particular landmark in our community, as well as our cultural leaders? I see many here from the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, whoop whoop, right there. The Brooklyn Children's Museum, Weeksville is here. The International African Arts Fair is here. We have, what are some of the other groups? Sisters Place. Sisters Place is a critical landmark. The International African Arts Fair. We have tribute to the ancestors. We have the Brownstoners. That's right. Bed-Stuy Restoration. Wow, this is so fantastic. This is so powerful that we have all of these institutions. We have Black Vets for Social Justice. We have so many organizations that have come here. And I just want to say that this is a space where after-school programming is happening. This is an art and cultural place. We have an exhibition here for Black History Month by Carl Musa Hickson that's on view right now. We have the Hattie Carthan Garden. We have Earth Day events here. We have recycling events that happen here. This is a space for so many not-for-profit organizations such as Our Time Press, our news media. This is a central hub in central Brooklyn, and it's critical that we make sure that we save it. So if you see here, this is how you can fund this organization. We have to do a viral campaign that's just got to go all over the world. We have to make sure that we raise this fund, right? And more, okay? This is not a one-time effort. I was able to help and support Weeksville, and we have to make sure that Weeksville, when we think of powerful women like Dr. Joan Maynard and our Queen Hattie Carthan, when we think about those important, powerful leaders that were in here, Dr. Josephine English, like making sure that our communities are strong, we have to lift those women up and those leaders in our community to make sure that their visions thrive now and into the future. So all we can do, everybody that's here, no matter what, we need you to make a contribution, and we need you to make that contribution and share it with your community. I pledge $1,000 to this campaign. I'm gonna do $500 today, I'm a working mom. I don't own any property. The only thing I have is a 1-bedroom apartment. That's the only thing I own, which means my son sleeps in the bedroom and we sleep on the couch, right? So we don't come from wealthy communities. And it is getting a little frustrating trying to pull together the same group of people that don't have no money, just like me, trying to pull money together to save a community when everybody's out here rapping about Bed-Stuy, singing about Bed-Stuy, dancing about Bed-Stuy, saying they from Bed-Stuy. Like, if you are an athlete, if you are a musician, an entertainer, a Hutch Fund owner, whatever it is, we need you to invest in our communities. The same people can't keep saving the community all the time. We have talent that has come out of Brooklyn, New York. We have resources and people that are well-financed that have come out of Brooklyn, New York. We need you to give up that funding and to become a part of the community. We can't continue to keep finding you, know where you come from and know what's important and you need to invest in it. So I'm gonna close this right here. Please check out the signs, Save the Center, GoFundMe, / and how you do this, because I'm not good with this, /876E81E4. But the younger folks here will tell you how to really make a campaign go viral. And I want to shout out Lance, who is on my team, who has done a phenomenal job. Man, Lance is heaven sent. He has organized so much of what you see happening today. And Wayne, I just want to thank you because you have held down Magnolia Tree on your own. And so,
No, we got a board.
right, you got a board, but you have been the face. And so we thank you for continuing to lift this up. We are here. We're going to make sure that this continues to be not only sustained, but thriving in our community, as our council member said, for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. I stand here today with my colleagues in government and each and every one of you for 3 specific reasons. 1, to celebrate the legacy of Hattie Carthan. Number 2, to continue the values that we have set forth that she poured into us to restore and to preserve our community. And number 3, to ask each and every one of you to continue to help invest in this community. Hattie Carthan built and preserved these magnolia trees, understanding that she would never be able to sit down underneath them and rest. In the theme of Black History Month of Black Resistance, she resisted people coming into our community and not understanding our culture.
That's right.
How did she do that? She did that by investing in our children, by bringing them into a garden and allowing them to learn how to feed themselves through the planting that still continues under the watchful eye of the leadership at Hattie Carthan Garden. I know she's here, Yannette Fleming. That sort of sovereignty, understanding that you have the ability to always feed yourself, no matter what goes on in the world, that spirit continues today. So we uplift the work that she did. Preserving and investing in our community, preserving our culture is what is going on here today.
That's right.
We want to make sure that a corporate person, a corporate entity, or others do not end up purchasing these brownstones and sit there with their high-end friends and talk about what used to happen here, right? This space is for community.
That's right.
This space is for us to continue the work of raising our children, ensuring that we set the environmental, continue setting an environmental footprint and agenda that supports and sustains our community.
That's right.
It is our job, whether it is, as was mentioned before, Magnolia Tree Earth Center, the Restoration Plaza, and all of the other entities that have been mentioned. It is our job to stand up and say that they belong to community, and we are here to fight for them.
That's right.
That's when we come to the point of investing. This is not just about investing in one group. This really is the model for how we invest in our community. We have all that we need in our community in order to support this.
That's right.
$350,000 in the scheme of things, especially when you look at a state budget that is $221 billion, is not a lot of money. But it is the principle of the thing. It is the principles that say future either under attack or undervalued. So today we stand here fighting on Black History Month, in Black History Month, for the preservation of this space so that we can continue raising the farmers of tomorrow, the artists of tomorrow, the activists of tomorrow.
That's right.
We have many, many institutions that the commissioner mentioned. They should have space here to continue to grow their organizations so that they can get to the next level and plant the seeds and bring on the next generation. That's what the Magnolia Tree Earth Center means to this community.
That's right.
So when you think about how you spend your money and who you're in contact with on a daily basis, there is an investment that needs to be made, whether it's $20 or $1,000.
That's right.
All of that counts. There are 139,000 people in the 56th Assembly District. If everybody gave $1 today, we'd be a third of the way to our goal.
That's right.
This is just how simple it is to support your community that you love. And so yes, to the folks who have the money, who can write the single check, we're going to preserve this space. We're going to get the money in order to ensure that the building is intact. But what we also need you to invest in is our future. We need you to invest in the programs that are represented here that sustain this community every single day, that have sustained the Magnolia Tree Earth Center through this fight for the last decade. Because there are those of you, this is not your first time here. You have been here every step of the way to ensure that this fight continues and that those two brownstones are restored to their former glory, that they are innovative spaces for the future, and that they are places of respite and care for the health and well-being of the Bedford-Stuyvesant and Brooklyn community.
Thank you, council member. Thank you all for being here. It is so beautiful to see community come out in the cold to say we're going to save the Magnolia Tree Earth Center and make sure it stays open. You know, Wayne mentioned it's Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. I think we all recognize that Black history is beautiful, it's rich, and we also need to recognize it's under attack. You know, in Florida, they recently, they're trying to ban Black history, so to speak. The books are flying off the shelves. The AP African American Studies is being canceled. And you know, this is not Florida. You know, this is Brooklyn. But like the council member was saying, we saw 441 Willoughby get bulldozed. We are fighting to make sure the United Order of Tens can keep their doors open. We're fighting here for the Magnolia Tree Earth Center. And the thing, when we talk about gentrification, is that it can be so insidious and so quiet. Unless people raise their voice and stand up and work together and say that when we come together, we can save our history.
That's right. Yes.
Because with no history, there's no future. We are saving, we gotta do this for future generations too.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. Do what you can at the link, spread the word, and let's save the Magnolia Tree Earth Center. Let's do it.
Good morning, family.
Good morning.
Family. Truly, we are family that have come together this morning. To the colleagues in government that have assembled here this morning, and to all of you community friends. I say good morning, and of course to the commissioner, I thank her so much for responding to the call. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, if you want to get something done, you have to reach out and touch. So I come this morning to share with you just some thoughts, just to say to you about upon the discovery of Magnolia grandiflora right here in this community by Grand Lady Hattie Carthan, actions began to take place. She called together community to discuss how we might preserve and protect the natural treasure in an unnatural environment. It has come to my attention, it had come to my attention in many years that my husband's family lived at this location, 678 Lafayette Avenue. My husband's family lived here. And they were relocated because of eminent domain. So anytime the city wants to do something, they proclaim eminent domain to take over the piece of property, and you have to relocate. So that's what happened. And so as a result of that action, to preserve and protect and these brownstones, I remember gathering with the Honorable Mary Pinkett,
That's right.
Mr. Herbert Von King, park named for him,
Yes.
Ben Glasgow from Con Edison at the time,
down.
and the Honorable Albert Van,
Yes.
and Alma Carroll.
Yep.
All principals of this community that came together to say, we want to make a difference. And so as a result of that, they came together to explore preservation ideas. Over the years, Magnolia Tree became the place to go to become educated about the value of trees and preservation of our environment by our lifestyle, change, and appreciation of Mother Earth. Workshops, camps for youth, and cultural events for community became commonplace. Today we stand once again to review and explore the protection and preservation of this community jewel. This is a jewel. Hopefully we are able to encourage and support this institution for the benefit of the greater community. So many of my colleagues here in government have expressed what the needs are, and your presence today indicates that you are ready and you are willing to serve. And so I'm hopeful, just as the electeds have passed, when I was in the New York City Council, I supported Magnolia Earth Tree. When I was in the New York State Assembly, I supported Magnolia Earth Tree Center. So I see my colleagues here that serve in those current offices, and it is expected. And they have indicated that what they will do to be able to preserve and protect this wonderful institution that continues to exist. Thank you so very much, and God bless you all.
Set your old school hip hop knowledge out, right? A whole bunch of superstars on this stage here tonight. I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. These are our houses, right? Over and over again, for those of us who are lifelong residents of this community, we've seen our houses be corrupted and taken away from us. 441 Willoughby was our house. 10 Claver Place was our house. Bed-Stuy Restoration is our house. And Magnolia Tree Earth Center is our house. Not enough is given with regards to honor to Mama Hattie Carthan. No one talks about the fact that in her tenure here on Earth, she's responsible for almost 17,000 trees being planted. No one talks about that. No one talks about the fact that she brought her knowledge, wisdom, and experience from her time as a child in Virginia to reintroduce black and brown people to the art of agriculture here in Brooklyn.
That's right.
She moved to Vernon between Tompkins and Troop. There were no trees on the block. Now, we've done a study with NASA. They did the urban heat island effect. We all know that vegetation and foliage helps with the urban heat island effect. We live in a concrete jungle. When it's 96 degrees in the air temperature, brothers and sisters at Marcy Projects are dealing with 105-degree heat. We know this. This is fact. So our connection to agriculture and our connection from human to earth is viable and important.
That's right.
Magnolia Tree Earth Center is our house. It was a center, a hub of this education at one time. We cannot let it be destroyed. That's why I stand with Wayne Devonish and the board. That's why I stand with City Council Member Chiose. That's why I stand with Assembly Member Stephanie Zinnerman. That's why I stand on Lafayette in the hood. This old Brooklyn.
That's right.
You see, I wore my old Brooklyn sheepskin for this. Right? Nothing's more old Brooklyn than this tree. This tree been here before all of us. And we wanted to be here after all of us. So I'm going to say the Run DMC line again because a lot of y'all look like squares. Y'all didn't know what I was talking about. I'm going to say it again. And when I ask you, you're going to say it's our house. Got it? Got it. We got a whole bunch of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is our house. Thank you very much. Peace and blessings.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Marlon Rice. You know, and Hattie Carthan was an original environmentalist that put forward this space to protect the environment of Black Brooklyn. So thank you so much to everyone that was out here this morning. We need your help. Anyone that's listening, please go to Save the Center or Google Magnolia Tree, GoFundMe, and the first thing that comes up, please donate $20, $100, $1,000, $100,000 if you have it. Because we need to save this center, not only for everyone that's standing out here today, but for the young people of Brooklyn and for the future of our city and our planet. So what are we going to do? Save our center!
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 Thank you. Do we have any?
We got a slogan at D12 that says, "We ain't going
Nowhere.
We ain't going
Nowhere.
We ain't going
Nowhere.
We ain't going
Nowhere. Thank you, thank you. Do we have any questions from the press? We got it? We were thorough in our speeches, right? Thank you, community. Thank you to everyone else that came out. We're going to save our center.
While you are out here, do videos.
And also, there are some refreshments inside. If anyone wants to warm up and chat about how we're going to save our center, please follow Wayne Devenish. Show me what community looks like. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Thank you. I'll pass it off to the commissioner once again.
Thank you so much.